Welcome to this explainer. Look, supply chains, they can be an absolute chaotic mess, right? But measuring their success, that shouldn't be. Today, we're building a definitive study guide to master one of the most critical performance metrics in logistics, perfect order fulfillment. We're going to lock our focus in, break it down, and make sure you walk away an absolute expert.
Here's our syllabus. We're going to hit the core material, look at a practical application, map out the concepts, dive into why this actually matters, and wrap it all up with a final exam.
All right, Module 1, the core material. Let's define POF.
So what exactly are we looking at here? Perfect order fulfillment, or POF, is a key performance metric that measures a supply chain's true delivery reliability and dependability. And I emphasize true dependability here, not just speed or, good intentions. In a lot of businesses, hitting 90% is, well, it's a solid A-, right? Not here. POF is a strict all-or-nothing KPI. It's a rigid standard measuring flawless execution from the exact moment an order drops to the second it's settled. Simply put, you either pass or you fail. There's no in between.
To pass that test and hit perfect fulfillment status, an order has to nail every single one of these 5 criteria. 0 exceptions. First up, delivered on time. That means matching the quoted lead time perfectly. Not a day early, and definitely not a minute late. Second, delivered in full. The complete, correct quantity shipped with absolutely 0 back orders. Third, perfect and correct condition. No damage to the products, and just as crucial, no damage to the outer packaging either. Fourth, the correct place, down to the specific dock requested by the customer. And fifth, accurate documentation. Every packing slip, label, and invoice has to be 100% error-free. Miss just one of these 5, the whole order fails the test.
Moving on to Module 2, practical application. Let's look at a real-world scenario.
Picture this. A major retailer places a massive, high-stakes order for exactly 500 laptops. The pressure is completely on. The rules are crystal clear. They need to be at a specific Chicago distribution center by November 1st, and they need highly specific shipping documentation. This is standard global logistics stuff, but with the holiday season coming up, the stakes are incredibly high.
So let's see how this plays out in 2 different realities. In Scenario 1, we get a perfect order. The laptops hit the dock exactly on November 1st, exactly 500 units roll off the truck, not a single box is dented, and the paperwork is flawless down to the last decimal point. Perfect order. Now, look at Scenario 2, the failed order. Let's say all 500 laptops arrive in Chicago on November 1st, and the physical condition is totally pristine. You're probably thinking, awesome, total win. But wait, the shipping invoice is missing a required purchase order number. Boom. That single tiny administrative typo ruins the whole thing from a systems perspective. Because accurate documentation is a mandatory component here, this order definitively fails the POF test.
All right, Module 3, the conceptual map. Let's connect POF to customer rights.
Now, our sources highlight the fundamental rights of customer service. And really, mastering those 5 POF criteria, that's your scorecard for making sure you're actually delivering on those rights. It's the rigorous internal tracking you need for exceptional external satisfaction. Think about it. Delivering in full means the customer gets the right quantity and the right goods. On time secures the right time for their schedule. Correct place, that's obviously the right place. Perfect condition guarantees the right quality, and nailing that documentation accuracy ensures all administrative details like getting billed the exact negotiated price are flawlessly handled. It protects the customer from dealing with any of your internal friction.
Which brings us to Module 4, why it matters. Let's talk about the real value of dependability. So why go through all this incredibly strict tracking? Well, organizations desperately need this metric because standard tracking just completely misses the mark on a few things. First, it defines quality and demand management. We're getting rid of vague goals like provide good service and replacing them with exact, unified targets. Second, it enables real benchmarking and accountability against your service level agreements. And third, this is huge, it exposes hidden administrative or quality flaws. Seriously, it's so common for a warehouse team to high-five because a truck left 15 minutes early, totally missing the fact that they threw the wrong packing slip on the pallet. If you're just tracking shipping speed, hey, that looks like a massive success. But when the customer spends 3 hours fighting with your accounting department, total disaster. POF exposes those hidden flaws. And lastly, it just ensures your day-to-day reality actually matches your published standards.
And here's the ultimate takeaway from all of this. Dependability is often the absolute most sought-after service value for customers. By exposing those hidden flaws and ruthlessly enforcing these strict standards, POF builds long-term business loyalty.
Like if your customers know they can rely on you 100% of the time, down to the last item and the very last digit on an invoice, you're not just another vendor anymore. You become an irreplaceable business partner.
All right, Module 5, the final exam. Time to test your knowledge.
Let's see if you've actually mastered this study guide. Here's a rapid-fire question for you. Scenario A. A flawless physical delivery of laptops hit Chicago exactly on time, but the invoice has a typo in the billing address. Does it pass? Think back to our earlier example, remember how crazy strict this metric is, and lock in your answer. The answer is a definitive fail. It completely bombs because documentation accuracy is a mandatory component of POF. Sure, a typo seems like no big deal to the folks loading the truck, but it creates a massive headache for the customer's accounting team. The perfect experience is ruined, so it's a fail.
Okay, let's keep it going. Scenario B. You deliver 499 totally undamaged laptops to the correct location on the correct date. Does it pass? I mean, you practically nailed the physical delivery, right? But what does the POF standard strictly dictate?
Once again, fail. An order has to be delivered in full, meaning the exact complete quantity has to be unloaded. If a massive retailer needs 500 units for a holiday promo, leaving them even 1 unit short totally messes up their floor plan and sales projections. Under POF rules, being 1 item short isn't a 99% success, it is a 100% failure. And that officially wraps up our study guide. So if POF requires 100% success across all 5 of those elements, how would your own organization score on this all-or-nothing test? I really want to leave you to ponder this. Are hidden administrative or quality flaws quietly costing your business true customer dependability? Take these concepts, apply them rigorously, and just watch your operational dependability absolutely soar. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I hope this study session gave you exactly the tools you need to crush it out there.